The High Court had ruled that the original tabulation process for District 4 had breached the law, and the process has been condemned by parties and local and international observers as being fraudulent, while the full commission of GCOM, which includes the coalition's 3 commissioners, agreed to a recount. One of the coalition's candidates went to the court to block it. Campaign manager Joseph Harman at a press conference Thursday did not say clearly that the coalition was backing the candidate who claimed that GCOM could not carry out the recount her leader, President David Granger, initiated. High Court Judge Franklin Holder is expected to rule Friday on whether the High Court has the powers to take up the case. The High Court had ordered the returning officer, Claremont Mingo, to use the original statements of poll from the region to add up the votes cast for each party and to display those statements so party agents and others could see them. But this did not take place on March 14, party agents had noted when the declaration was made. The international community has already threatened sanctions against Guyana if a president is sworn in on the basis of the Region 4 votes.
We believe that we have won these elections. We believe that the figures that are there, they have been there since the 14th of March. And therefore, if it is that this is what will avert any serious sanctions and so on, I'm sure that the president and the parties that comprise the APNU+AFC will be prepared to look at that carefully and to give some consideration to it.
When you say that, when you say that, what are you referring to?
That which you spoke about just now.
Recount.
Well, recount our elections petition, which speaks to an audited statement on the elections, whatever form it takes within the law. It must be done within the law. This is what we're saying.
Harman dismissed allegations of electoral fraud.
Fraud is not a political term. It is a legal concept which requires specific averments that speaks to fraud. You have to detail the particulars of fraud. And so far I can say to you that as far as I'm aware, there's not a finger has been lifted to say that the APNU+AFC was involved in any fraud.
Following the international condemnation of the results, President Granger had requested a national recount of all votes supervised by a high-level CARICOM team in agreement with the opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo. But even though the CARICOM team arrived, GCOM could not go ahead with preparations for the recount after one of the coalition's candidates, Yulita Moore, was granted a High Court injunction to block the process. That injunction and several others has since constrained GCOM from moving ahead. On the issue of international sanctions, Harman believes it is anti-national for anyone to lobby for this, and so he urged all political parties to work with the APNU+AFC to rectify what issues they may have.
Sanctions is something that we have to be concerned about in this country because it can affect the development of the country. It can stymie that development. And therefore, anyone who feels that sanctions will only affect one group of persons, they are probably not thinking well, because once Guyana is affected, we all are affected. And so sanctions is not something that you play around with. We are concerned about the threats of sanction, and we will do as much as that we can possibly do to ensure that those conditions which activate the threat going into action, that it is not done. And I don't see any country in the world that actually would want to invite that level of sanction on its country, knowing fully well the developmental path on which we are. I encourage all of the parties to let us sit and work out our differences. Sanctions is not the way. It is not the way.
Reporting for the newsroom, Fariza Hanif.